What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Padilla's Dojo. I want to thank you for tuning in. And at this time, what we're going to do is we're going to be reviewing the book of Wingfeather Saga. It's called On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. And I have a few of my 6th grade class right here that we read this book. And guys, what'd you think?
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was a good book, right?
It was too crazy at the ending. That's
okay.
all I...
So we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But tell me about some first things that took place in the book, because this is going to be a review that people are going to look at to be able to see if they want to read the book.
Okay.
They discovered a creature named the Toothy Cow.
Why don't you first tell me about,
the Fangs?
The very beginning, the family. Give me a rundown of what the family is, who's the family members, what is this book all about? Tell me about the beginning.
So the beginning is when the family members, it's the Igabes. So they have their grandfather Poto. Their dad isn't with them at the beginning of the book. It's like as if he's dead. And then there's 3 kids.
It's Janner, Tink, Lily.
Lily's
Okay.
the youngest.
So it's the Igabe family. Yeah. It's about the Igabe family, okay? Yeah. So what's going on in the world? What kind of world is this place in this book, Aaron?
It doesn't mention the world, but they live in Glipwood, which is the country of Spree.
And there's also no electricity, right?
Yeah, there's no electricity.
It's the world with no electricity. There's also a special meal that they always talk about. What's it called? The potatoes.
Oh, potatoes.
Potatoes.
So,
potatoes. I
want somebody to take me through the beginning of the book. Go ahead. Tell me about the beginning of the book.
Alright, so it begins, Janner, I think, was like doing chores in the barn. He was playing around, and then he accidentally had his face dumped in.
Joseph, tell me about some things that happened at the beginning of the book.
So, he was getting his chores done as fast as he could to go to the dragon festival, which is once a year, where the sea dragons, they go to see the sea dragons, which Janner really loves. But his parents, just his mom and Poto, his grandfather, kept telling Janner, the oldest one, to take care of them, Lily and Tink.
And he didn't like that.
And he didn't like it.
Nah, he didn't want to take care of it.
Thinking it was annoying.
Yeah.
And later in the book, you'll find out why, like at the end.
Okay. So, who could tell me a little bit about the middle of the book? Faith.
Slarb was chasing the kids.
Okay, so who's Slarb? What is Slarb affiliated with? What is he?
He's a fang.
What's a fang?
It's like a big reptile alligator that wants to...
That has like venomous fangs that ruled the world.
Ooh, can I draw description? The book description?
They try to get the people.
Okay, so the city is pretty much ruled by the fangs, right? Yeah. The fangs are these giant lizard-like men, giant reptiles, kind of like the Roman... I think I look at them like the Roman army, the Roman Empire. Okay, now, what about the Great War that was talked about in the book? There was a war that took place, right?
Tink's father, Janner and Lily's father was in the Great War. We don't know if he died yet or no. Well,
they mentioned that he died. Yeah, they mentioned he died in the war, right?
Or is
so their dad died in the war? Or is he dead? Okay, so in the middle of the book, Slarb what?
Slarb was chasing the kids.
So, now, you 3. Tell me a little bit about the middle of the book. What took place in the middle of the book?
Ooh, so then there was a festival and they saw dragons. Then Nuggets, Lily's thing, they wanted to go, but then he found Nuggets, a little black dog, or like a little black, tiny black dog. He was attacked by a fang. Then Lily, kicked the thing.
Okay.
And then they started fighting in an alley. The 2 brothers, the sister, and several things.
So they went up against Slarb.
And then someone threw a rock at Slarb, and then he was like,
and then he was unconscious.
Ow.
Okay, Damien.
And like in the swamp part, they went somewhere. I don't know where it was. I forgot, but there was like these big giant dragons in the water, and then they came out, and then one of them, who was it, Jana?
So they were on the edge of the dark sea of darkness, right?
They were on the edge.
They were on the edge of the dark sea of darkness, and what happened?
And then who was it, Jana? Who heard the voices?
Oh.
And then Janner, which is one of the characters, he heard the, like, voices in his head.
From
Oh,
the
from-
eldest,
Yeah.
the biggest sea
The-
dragon.
So what brought the dragons out of the water?
The singing of
Lily.
Lily was singing, right? Okay, she was singing what? A whistle harp.
A whistle
Yeah.
harp.
Okay,
too.
and she started singing. The dragons came out of the water.
And the old, like the biggest one,
and guys,
Janner, and then it started talking to Janner through mind, and it's like, how does she know this song?
Okay, now, so there's some type of relation with the dragons. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's continue. After that, what took place with the family? So they went to work at a library. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
The two boys, Tink and Janner, went to work at a library. Whose library was it? It was Oscar's.
Reteep's.
Mr.
Oscar
Reteep's library.
Reteep's.
Okay. So while they were working at the library, what happened?
they found
They
the map.
were like helping Mr. Oscar Deep take out some books. So they were helping take out some books. Then they found this crate that was listed Dang. And then they were like, wow, because in that world, in the book, Dang is where the things come, things of Dang.
Okay, so they found a map.
And
Where did that map take them to?
To Ankle Jelly Manor.
Ankle
like
Jelly
this
Manor. Now,
abandoned house.
what happened as they were on their way to Ankle Jelly Manor?
They found a hallway.
Hornhounds.
They
Found
so they
one
went
house.
into Ankle Jelly Manor. Then they hear something, and horned hounds come out of the forest.
Okay.
Horned hounds, and there's a bunch of mysterious animals in the forest, which are very scary and deadly.
Okay.
So,
Like toothy
so
cows.
they're like toothy
Toothy
cows.
cows, horned hounds. There's also ghosts that they hear,
Ghost.
right?
First ghost.
And big old toads that literally anything
Ugh.
that fits in its mouth
Giant toads.
will eat it.
Poison.
They will eat it.
All that. Okay.
Yeah.
So they end up making it to the door of the Ankle Jelly Manor, right?
Yes.
They knock the door over, right? They
Yeah.
go inside, and then they end up at the big iron door. And what happens with
Eventually.
the big iron door?
They tried to like press some buttons.
There's
and there was
a total of
that-
80 buttons.
Okay.
And then there was
In the
they
center.
tried to like press it, but they didn't know the combination. Then they got the holes.
Then
They found this door. They were like going through this tiny hallway. Then they found this door, this big iron door. It had 80 buttons. They tried to like press the combinations, but
They couldn't figure it
find
out, right?
Until
Now,
they
how did they figure it out, Joseph?
they figured it out because there were random pinholes in the map, and they're like, what the heck? And eventually, so Janner Janner's like, let's give up, and Tink's he's ignorant to give up, and so he continues going and stuff, and then he keeps going. And Janner's like, hurry, like, come on. But as Tink unravels it, and then he goes to actually give up after he couldn't. But then Janner's like, wait, because the pinholes and the lantern they found matched, and so they had to walk. They walked farther and farther,
Okay.
and then the pinholes on the map with the light shone and told them where on the
For the
buttons
combination.
for the combination.
Okay, so they got in, and what did they find?
They found a bunch of weapons which
bow and arrows,
bows and arrows,
axes,
swords, battle axes, shields, full like.
Okay, now they went back home after that, right? They went back home, and then suddenly they started to see Pete the Sock Man around a lot. Why?
Yeah, Pete.
Because they needed to be saved, because the Fangs were coming after them and they were
Yes.
capturing them because they really hated the Igabys, right?
Yes,
So then
that's-
what happens? Now, what we start to see is that there's a lot of relation, there's a lot of people that are close together in this story. So at the end of the book, we'll start going to the end of the book. At the end of the book, we start to find out a lot of secrets that we were thinking about. We were asking each other as we were reading the book, a lot of things that we were asking each other, like, what about this? Why this? Why that?
The dad.
Like,
And everybody would think it was the dad because we were hoping that the dad would come out
And then
sometime in this story, but he never did.
The dad.
and then eventually we did find out the dad died, and Mr. Padilla, our great teacher, decided, let's make this like a joke. Whenever like he pauses for something,
Whenever
we'll
ask a question.
ask a question about it, we're like, his dad,
What do you think's gonna happen?
his dad.
His dad. Okay. What happened at the end of the book? So let's talk about the end of the book. We did not. Did you guys expect that to happen?
No.
So they're looking
Well,
for the
I
jewels,
did.
right?
I sort of
Okay.
predict. So I had a prediction that
They were looking for the jewels.
Nag, the nameless, the ruler of the fangs, is looking for the jewels because he believes they have some kind of power. And they
Okay.
find out that their dad is dead and that he was the.
So
king
wait.
of
Okay,
Iberia.
hold on. Let's get into this. So they end up in a big war. Poto, the grandpa goes to war. Then all of a sudden, they're all fighting against the fangs. The fangs all come against them, right?
And Pete
And
the
Poto almost died. We thought Poto was dead. Nugget got stabbed. The dog
got killed.
He got killed, right? And then Pete the Sockman. Hold on.
Yes, he got
Pete the
killed.
Sockman captured them, took them to his magic castle, right? So at the end of the book, we end up finding out what are the jewels.
I made a prediction which it was the kids, and then like 50 chapters later, it felt like it was the kids.
We found out it was the kids. The kids were the jewels.
And everybody in the classroom was like, Joseph's right.
We knew. Now, who can tell me about the part that we all felt very, very sad, and one person started crying
When Nugget died.
when Nugget died. When Nugget died, there was a war going on. So, okay, now let's skip to the very end.
Nugget's back alive because the first well,
And
the
he
very
beat-
first well has powers, and he made Pete the Sockman put a little too much water, and so Puggett became the size of a horse.
Bigger
Nugget
than a
was
horse.
once less than knee height, and now he's bigger than like the size of a horse.
Like Clifford.
Like Clifford the
Like
big
Clifford
red
the
dog.
big red dog. Okay,
Except
now,
black.
so we find out the kids are the jewels. We find out that they're actually royalty. They're royalty,
Yes.
right? We find out they're royalty. Now we're starting the second book. We're already starting to read the second book. We started reading it, and it is right here, North or Be Eaten. All right, we started reading the second book now. So there is a show, actually from Angel Studios, that's out right now. You can find it on YouTube. You type up Wingfeather Saga on YouTube, and you can go ahead and see the episodes. Now, were the episodes anything like the book?
No.
Of
Well,
course
sort
not.
of. Sort of.
Well,
Nothing like it.
is there added stuff to the
There's-
episodes?
There's added stuff. And
Is there
taken-
stuff that's taken out?
Yes.
Yeah, too
and
much.
sometimes they change the stuff, to make it, more kid friendly or something. I don't know.
Like
I
the
don't know.
smoking parts.
Yeah. They say Oscar E.T. smokes, and guess what? In the show, not a single time is there anything related to
But
smoking.
Poto did. Yeah.
Poto? Oh.
He
Poto,
was.
did.
He did have a pipe.
So, is the book recommended?
Yes.
Would you recommend the book?
Yes.
Would you recommend the series?
Yes,
Wait,
I
wait,
would
wait.
recommend
For the
the
book,
series.
if you're reading this in class and you are very impatient, I would recommend if you're like super impatient. Then
Tell
you
me
have
why.
to stop out. Because every single chapter ends with suspense. Like it's just going on all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden, it goes out into suspense.
So,
Like the suspense
Builds.
happens all of a sudden.
so at the end of every chapter,
We'd
there's
all-
suspense.
And
And
everybody
at
like,
the
no.
end of every chapter, say we're all sitting in our desk at the end of every chapter, Mr. Video would close the book, and then we'd all go, no!
I
Because it
remember
leaves you in
once-
suspense, right?
Yes,
I remember-
we wanted to find out more, and it was amazing.
So, this book is highly recommended. It's a great book. And stay tuned for book review number 2 for the second book. All right, God bless you. Mr. Padilla's Dojo. Defeat does not exist in this dojo.